This fan right here could be causing you guys some power steering issues on these '05 Mini Coopers. So I just want to show you real quick. This is the fan underneath the car. There's two 13mm nuts that hold it on, and you can see that little electrical plug right there. So I'm going to take that off, undo the plug, and show you what's going on with this thing. Alright, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to show you that the view of underneath the car and how to get this thing off. So we've got my girlfriend's '05 Mini Cooper S, and I've read some things about power steering issues. So real quick, me and my girlfriend drove this to Florida last year. After our long drive down there, it's about 12 and a half hours or so, give or take. And as soon as we got there, the power steering stopped. So, you know, immediately I was kind of thinking fluid just to check it. The fluid was okay. Didn't really know what to do. We were on vacation. It was still drivable, so we didn't really mess with it. Fast forward a year, $465 power steering pump. Put the pump on the car, didn't fix it. I ended up finding out from a buddy of mine that it was basically a fuse, and this is the fuse right here. You can kind of see it inside of the package. So it's a 100-amp bolt-in fuse, and I'll get into that here after a bit. But basically, I think what causes the issue is this fan right here. So we've got our old original crusty one, and we've got our new one. So with one hand, I'm trying to move these fins, and it is locked. Come over here, and I can move it just fine. So basically, I think what had happened was, after that long drive, the fan stopped working, therefore overheating the electric power steering pump. And then, this is all speculation. I'm hoping this is how it went, and you know, hopefully it explains if somebody else is having an issue. So the fan stops working, the pump overheats, and then blows the fuse. So first step was getting the pump, and then finding out that the fuse was bad. So this has all kind of happened backwards for me, but I just want to tell this story in case it happened to anybody else. So I'm gonna pop the hood and try and get into this fuse box. It's kind of difficult. So entering the engine bay, we've got this small fuse box here, okay? I believe this 5-amp fuse right here is actually for the power steering fan, and the fuse is fine. Well, this is actually a two-sided fuse panel. So you have to finagle, unbolt this, take this plug out, disconnect the battery in the back, take this little lead here off because this is hot, and you basically have to pop this all the way out, and the 100-amp fuse is on the bottom side of this. So I will go through the process of that. There's 10mm bolt here, another 10mm bolt back there, and that kind of pops this loose, but then it gets kind of hung up on this. So if you can unplug this and try and get this thing out of here, of course too, after you unbolt that, because that's holding it down. I know it's a cluster, there's a lot of talking information, but I just want to try and help somebody else out if they run into this. So I did replace the fuse and got the power steering pump working. That way I could, you know, figure out what all was bad on it. But obviously I don't want to drive it too long without the fan. And the parts store did not have the exact fuse. This little midsection here, the little plastic protection, whatever you want to call it. So it's not a makeshift, it is an actual 100-amp fuse, but I want to put the same one that the factory had on it just to be safe. And then the fan should work and everything. So I'm gonna try and get this fuse panel out. Okay, all these connected or disconnected, sorry. You can barely see. I don't know if I can get the camera down there or not. Okay, you can see those fuses there. These are on the bottom side. There's a T25 screw holding in both of them. The power steering one isn't the 50, it's this one. So you can see the difference between the factory one and that. So that was my temporary one. Luckily, it is not blown and I have driven the car, so I think we're making progress at least. But like I said, I wanted to put the factory style one back in. So 2 T25 screws, you got to be careful not to drop them. It's kind of tough. That's literally me pulling this thing back, and it's tight. So be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that fuse, and we should be good to go with that. Got her all buttoned back up, new fuse in, so it's time to put the new fan in. Trying to get a decent view for you guys without blocking the camera too much. Should be a simple, there we go. Gosh, I don't know why that wouldn't go in. It's alright, we got it. Had to take it all loose and everything. There we go, everything seems good. Fan's moving. Put this thing up in here. Alrighty, she should be all good.